Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Boki Etefe. Today I'm going to be discussing a book by my very favorite author, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and it is titled Americanah. Honestly, this review is long overdue because if you know me, you know how much I love Chimamanda so much. The first time I read this book, I wasn't expecting I was going to start my own book too, but here I am, and it's been amazing thus far. So I decided to pick up this book again and read every single page of it. This is my second time reading Americanah, and the first time was a journey of, oh, Chimamanda is so awesome and her writing prowess is unmatched. And yes, I was in love with etefevoke, the main character in this book. And then this second time, I just really focused on the story. Just taking everything in and enjoying every bit of it. And it came at the right, and I read this book again at the right time. I don't know how to call the word, it was good timing. I don't know, because a lot of things happen in the world at the moment, and they were discussed in the book. The author did well to mention such things, and it's actually sad that this book was published in the year 2013, I think, and I'm sorry, yes, maybe 2013, and a lot of things that have been spoken about in this book even doubled, or as who was still trying to fight it, just encompassed in one book. It's amazing. Okay, but before I start my review for today, I'm going to first of all tell you what Americanah means. Americanah is not an English word, or is it? Well, I don't know if it's an English word, but I know this word Americanah because Nigerians, my beloved people, they use this word, this term Americanah, for any single person who they feel like is acting all bougie, or someone who left the country and returns and feels like, okay, you're no longer, you don't have that Nigerianness in you anymore, and you feel like you're better than other people. That's they say, you're an Americanah, or that one, she's an Americanah. Or most of the time they use it in a way that you do not act Nigerian. I don't know who the start for you to be Nigerian. I don't know what the start is for you to be Nigerian enough. But once you have a certain accent, once you say I do not eat this or I don't do this, when they step out of the country, I know they'll tell you, oh, you're an Americanah. Or if they don't say Americanah, they'll say Ajebota. Show that maybe you are soft or something. Most of the time they use this thing when people have gone out of the country and return, and they'll feel, when your family feel like you have gone all soft or something, they'll tell you that you are an Americanah. Anybody can use this term on you, and you don't even know if you should feel offensive or if you feel offended, but they use it. In chapter 5, Chimamanda paints a picture of the term Americanah for us when she said, when one of the characters was speaking, she'll come back and be a serious Americanah like BC, Rani Enudo said. They roared with laughter at that word Americanah. Wreathed in glee, the fourth syllable extended, and at the thought of BC, a girl in the form below them, who had come back from a trip to America with odd affectations, pretending she no longer understood Yoruba, adding a slurred R to every English word she spoke. I hope you get the picture. Yes. when you go back to Nigeria, and because we eat eba, gari with our hands, and you are acting all bougie and saying, oh, a lot of people I know, they don't like eating eba with their hands, but it's a Nigerian thing to do, and they'll say, oh, you're an Americanah, or do you think they're better than us eating with our hands? So that's I hope you get what I'm saying about the Americanah term. Now I've gotten a picture of what Americanah truly means. We'll look at I just want to read something out for you, trying to tell you, because I'm just trying to paint a picture for you here again. And this is in chapter 18. Was it 18? I don't get my book, I know. A lot of people hate this, but I love it. I don't like to use any tag or whatever. I just give it okay. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but it is what it is. Yes, I do that. Okay, in chapter 18, I think yes, 18, and here sorry, here Ifemelu was having a discussion with she was already having a discussion. Someone was asking her a question, and there's a line that I love so much from this book, so I want to read it out to you before I go into what the book is about. It's the person who's speaking to her. The person's name is Kelsey. Is it good? Yes, it's a novel, right? What's it about? Why do people ask what is it about? As if a novel had to be about only one thing. If Emily disliked the question, she would have disliked it even if she did not feel in addition to her depressed uncertainty, the beginning of a headache. So I read this part out because this book is multifaceted. It is a lot of things, and I think it depends on how you read it, but the writer is just trying to tell you a lot of things from this one story. Americanah chronicles the journey of Ifemelu, who happens to be the main character in this book. She had to migrate or immigrate or leave Nigeria for education in America. This comes after the incessant, I don't know if I got the pronunciation right, but the continuous, this is actually passionate for me because I attended a public university, and it was not so rosy for us there. You go to school, I'm digressing right now, I know that, but I'm just trying to say how the thing is so passionate to me because the lecturers would just up and go on strike. Yes, not entirely their fault, because maybe the government is owing them salary, and it's so annoying. So this was the dilemma of Ifemelu, and her auntie or family felt like, okay, why not just go and study outside the country, which is even much better. So Ifemelu moves to America, and it is a journey of finding herself. It's a journey of trying to fit in. It's a journey of just a Nigerian girl doing a lot of things and just trying to make sense out of a lot of things in America. It's a story about love. It's a story about race. It's a story about Nigerianness. It's a story about, it's just an amazing story. I hope I painted the picture right for you, because I do not want it to be just one-sided. But the book is set in Lagos. The book is kind of intertwined. It's set in Lagos, Nigeria, where Ifemelu grew up, and here in Lagos too was where her love story was started, because she fell in love with her classmate in secondary school, and this relationship with Obinze was amazing and it's very, very nice. And this relationship grew even after university, and it's also set in Nsukka. Nsukka was where they moved on to attend university at Nsukka, and that's in the east of Nigeria, eastern region of Nigeria. Then it's also set in America. So this where Ifemelu moved to and tried to just start a new life for herself. And it's also set in London. This London, the part set in London was the story was being told from the perspective of Obinze, which brings me to the narrative technique employed by the author. The narrative technique employed by Chimamanda in this book was the omniscient narrative, the all-seeing eye, and most of the time the story is told from Ifemelu's perspective, while sometimes it's also told from Obinze's perspective. So it's just intertwined in a way. And the book is divided into parts, 8 parts, and the style of writing also is she used I don't know if there's a word for this, but I remember my literature teacher using the word, so it just stuck. I think there's a more professional, more appropriate term for it, but when she said zigzag narrative, it just stuck to me. So it's zigzag too, but not in an annoying or confusing way that you have to say, okay, where am I, or what's going on now? No, the book started from the end when Ifemelu had to go and braid her hair because she was preparing to return back to Nigeria. Okay, it's not really the end though, like before the end. Here, Ifemelu had decided to return back to Nigeria after spending 13 years in America, and okay, after this first part, then it moves to how she grew up, her life in Nigeria, and it just went on until the end, until the climax. Yeah, so that's basically how the technique is. I've talked about the setting, I've talked about the technique, I have talked about what else. The characterization is beautiful. I wouldn't say the characters were well carved out, well shaped. Chimamanda is a god. Efemelu is my favorite character. Definitely, hands down, my favorite character. I think of all Chimamanda's books, Efemelu remains a person that I can relate to the most, a character I relate to the most, because she's amazing. Her feistiness, her boldness, her always speaking her mind, always being true to herself no matter what happens. Even though sometimes she might catch herself just sipping in the energy of someone else, but the most admirable thing about Ifemelu is that she likes to not forget herself. This was shown when she tried as much as possible to just stick with her Nigerian accent, not trying to just sound different, or yes, some kind of terms that are used in Nigeria. Yes, they're definitely going to be influenced from America, of course, but and some kind of terms like half caste, she had to do it away from her Nigerian dictionary, because Nigerians will not say anything wrong with calling someone an half caste. Someone who is biracial, they'll say you're an half caste, and it's actually a bad word. I learned that in this book. So you can see that how she likes to stay true to herself and not try too hard to be different. She just maintained her accent. Like, okay, she first of all caught herself trying to sound different and just be key into the society. But what's the point? You can only see when she embraced her African texture, her African hair, unapologetically. Although yes, she faced a lot of identity issues trying to just fit in, because here she was in a new country and she's black. She's coming from Nigeria, and we do not know that kind of disparity, like, okay, you are black or whatever. The only thing we face is tribalism. So you being in a new society and you are considered black, and black is a certain kind of people according to the society, you have to try and fit in. You see that, okay, in Nigeria we carry our braids. Braid is not considered some kind of bad hairstyle. It's actually very beautiful for us. We see your braid and be like, oh, that's nice, who braided your hair? But here from the book you see that some kind of hairstyles that black people like or we carry, it's termed unprofessional, which is actually very sad. And Ifemelu had to face this. One of the things, many things she had to face and learn from in this book. This character is quite interesting as well. Nigerian guy who loves, he always wanted to go to America, but he was denied visa due to what happened during 9/11. So he had to go to London first, then hopefully he would migrate to America, which never happened. So he had to return back to Lagos. I forgot to say this, that the story was progression. The story was a progression. It started from the era of dictatorship in Nigeria and just moved down to past democracy. And this was where Obize found himself when he returned back to Nigeria, and he became a real estate developer in Lagos, Nigeria, which was a big deal. Yeah. So another character is Ifemelu's parents. Okay, I would not like to put Ifemelu's parents as one, because Ifemelu's mother is quite amazing to me, and she's a very funny character. Once the scene has Ifemelu's mother in it, I'm always laughing, because Ifemelu's mother is the true depiction of most Nigerian mothers. The over-religious attitude, always blaming the devil for one misfortune or the other, and it was so funny to me. Putting side by side to putting another character side by side with Ifemelu's mother is Obize's mother. Obize's mother is a widow, and she happened to be a lecturer at the university at Nsukka. And this woman, I always loved this Obedience Mother's character because she was the complete opposite of most Nigerian parents. Total opposite. She was nice. She was cool in a way that was cool, not in a bad way. I loved how she just connected with her son, and how she even was so welcoming of her son's girlfriend. And this was not in a way that, okay, my son's girlfriend, you know how that kind of thing is, oh, she's not my daughter, so no. There was this kind of relationship, friendship, understanding between both of them, as not just mother and daughter, but almost like sisters, or this womanhood. It was very, I enjoyed this relationship as well. So putting this is one character, a Nigerian mother, and another character of a Nigerian mother. So it was just nice to me. And Ifeanyi loved Obedience Mother so much, so much. Her approach and her outlook to life was very admirable. Then we move on to Auntie Uju. Auntie Uju was like a big sister to Ifeanyi. Although they were, she was an aunt, it happened to be an auntie, and I also like this relationship between Ifeanyi and an auntie. I feel like children or teenagers need the kind of influences, or I don't know how to say it now, the kind of relationship that existed between Ifeanyi and her auntie Uju was admirable. So because the depiction of Nigerian aunties Auntie Uju did not fit it at all. But saying that Auntie Uju is nice, if you look and talk to her about boy problems, it was beautiful. So although Auntie Uju had her flaws, she was a mistress to in general. And what that aside, the fact that she was a mistress, the character of Auntie Uju was really quite inspiring as well, because even though she lost her benefactor, or the guy that was sponsoring her, she moved with her son to America and she picked herself up. It's really nice, really inspiring. Kurt, one of the guys that Ifeanyi dated in America, and Blaine is an African American guy that Ifeanyi dated in America. So now we'll move to the themes of the book. The book, as I said earlier on, it encompasses a whole lot of topics that are very, very nice. And the first being race. Race was a huge factor for me in this book, because it was seeing things from a lot of perspective, and from this perspective of Ifeanyi, and it was quite sad. And the fact that particular set of people have to struggle or have to fit in so that they can actually meet the standards in society was quite sad for me. And I think it was Ifeanyi felt the same way. She felt that same choking feeling, and that's why she started her own she decided to air her own views or her own experiences, or what her own observations, because it was mostly like from the point of an observer. And it was her own blog was titled Wasting, and talk about this racism from a point of view of an African in America. Okay, so the blog was met with a lot of responses, and if I learned a lot of lessons from that particular blog. In fact, the more she grew, the more lessons the more people, she even offended a lot of people with that particular blog. So yes, racism was a very, very big factor in this book, or a very huge theme in this book. Another thing was the need to be Americanization. I don't know if that's a word, but whatever. It's the fact that that it played a huge role too in this book, because everyone wants to go to America. There's this myth that whenever you go, if you can just leave this country, travel out of the country, you're going to have open doors. A lot of things are going to make sense. Just a wave of hope. It's almost like it sounds like almost like a miracle. But this immigrant, which was Ifeanyi, and even Obinze's point of view when he went to London, got to show or got to see that it goes way more than how we say it, or there's a lot of struggle that goes on before you can actually find your place in the society. Also, and this needs to be American or at least as American, comes with corruption. So it goes to this theme now transcends to Nigeria or an African country. Most people migrate because of the ills in the society. Another theme is the theme of corruption in Nigeria. It was quite touching to me to know that a lot of people, they actually decide to just leave the country because of different factors in the society. And there's I don't know who said it in the book. I think it was Obinze that mentioned that the need for a choice, like an alternative, because this other nationality is giving you offering you something better than what your home country is going to offer you. So the need for having an alternative, a choice. Okay, if your country becomes better, fine, but for now, let's go to this other country and just make it. And this book the story started from the time where there was military dictatorship in Nigeria. It was a very tough time in Nigeria. Yes, I was born during this era of the military, but I didn't really experience it like this, like the generation before me, or like people before me, or people older than me. Yeah, so it was a really quite tough time. There was lots of things happening behind the scenes and so many things, so many things, so many things. So this need for new, but even after this military era, you can see from when Ifemelu returns back to Nigeria, which is now democratic, and you can still see that there are a lot of things that need change in the country from her description of the country, even to today. So there's this need for a better Nigeria, or the theme of love is very important in this book, because you can see from how Obinze and Ifemelu's love was transcended years, it transcended boundaries, all sorts of obstacles. Yeah, so Ifemelu and Obinze were high school sweethearts, but the secondary school in Nigeria. Yeah. But even when she left the country, when she was leaving, his mother, who she had a very good relationship with, like, make sure you and Obinze have a plan to show how much these two lovebirds loved each other. And they were still in touch, but until something happened and it just set this knife between both of them. I'm not to tell you what happened, you got to read it for yourself. And it was just this dividing knife between them, but there was, even when they were not speaking to each other, they longed for each other. There was this Ifemelu factor with Obinze, and from most of the stories about other relationship was from Ifemelu's perspective. So she dated Kurt, she dated Blaine, but there was this factor of Obinze, comparing them to Obinze, and there was just this presence. There was always a third party that wasn't far away in Nigeria, that they've not spoken to in years, months yet, but there was this factor of him just present there. And the love between that Obinze and Ifemelu shared had a lot of hurdles to cross and all that. The fact that Obinze had to move on and he got married to, what's her name? Kosi. Kosi is a very beautiful lady, and she's not Ifemelu. I'll just say that she's not Ifemelu for Obinze. So nobody was always yearning for Ifemelu. So will they be able? The big question about their love is how are they going to tackle this love? I don't know. Find out by reading the book. So another thing in this book what I love so much is the over religious attitude. Sometimes in America, when Ifemelu, there's some kind of misfortune just happens, and she'll be like, oh God, this is the time when her mother would say it's the devil, it's to blame or something. So that religious attitude is a thing for me, because it was funny, because the way it was portrayed, it was laughable, because so most of the time I was on guilty of kind of things, and I love that. I really do love that. Yeah. So that was one of the most important things for me in the book, but it had a lot. This book is really This book is really loaded, and I would encourage you to read it. Yes, another reason why I want to come and read them, give you a review. I feel like everyone should read this book before the series. There's a series coming out very soon. It's supposed to come out in 2020, but I don't know what's holding it. But there's a series coming out based off this book, and I that's why I said, okay, let me come and tell you guys to read this book before the series come out. Yeah, so you can just compare and contrast and all that, you know. Your books are always better. So while we wait, you can just pick up your Americanah, or if you're ready before, you can read it again in anticipation. And if you're not ready before, please try and read this book. It's a very nice read. Chimamanda she's always going all out in her stories, and it's so well written, simple English language, no need to bogus words. It's never her style. She's always direct and straight to the point, giving you the way you want it and the way it's supposed to be. Yes. Is there anything I don't like about this book? There's nothing I don't like about this book. I know that maybe I may sound biased because she's my favorite author, but there's nothing I hate about this book. I love everything about the book. I love everything about the book. So yeah. Until next time, we'll read another book. Take care of yourself.